Hello, my name is Kathleen Lisson. I'm a lymphedema therapist in the United States, and I am here in Rome, Italy this week for the VWIN Foundation V Italy um, Vein Lymphatic Summit. And as you can see by my suitcase behind me, this is going to be my recap of the last day of the summit because I'm leaving to come home to the US tomorrow. So it was a little bit of a short day as far as what I'm going to share with you because we actually ended up taking a lot of really good time having a quality conversation with experts from around the world about lipedema. And I tried some device, so I'll be able to talk to you about my personal experience with the shockwave device that was in Suat's. It's the same device that Suat used in his upcoming research that you will see on the effects of shockwave treatment on people with lipedema. Okay, so the first and the just clinical pearls is what I'm going to give today. So the first one is that prevention is the most effective drug. And I love that I'm hearing these really beautiful kernels of truth the meeting because that really kind of reorients us to maybe going back to the fundamentals are important with our clients rather than being attracted to the latest and greatest and trying to get too specific and technical, maybe just beginning the visit by talking about some really simple things. If we took steps to prevent this, if we took prehabilitation, you will end up with a possible better result. Important to understand that with lymphedema patients most lymphedema patients are unsatisfied with their experience with lymphedema treatment. Um, and I could definitely see why that would be the case in the United States, but it should be for us a call to action to see how we can improve how we deliver lymphedema treatment, because that is what Dr. Roxon is telling us he has learned. Um, 30% around or over 30% of non-cancer lymphedema patients with non-cancer lymphedema had to go see at least 5 doctors before they finally got their lymphedema diagnosis. So that may definitely be a part of it, why a lot of people with lymphedema are really feeling that it's an unsatisfying experience. And then we talked a lot about lipedema, but one thing on the vein side, just these things that I'm learning because I'm a lymphedema therapist trying to get more information. And so I write down the simple things that the doctors say. But this, I really was interested in this, and it's varicose veins are a response, it's the body's response to venous hypertension. So maybe a lot of people think, I think maybe the person on the street thinks like it's part of getting older. It is just unsightly. It doesn't, like their doctor has seen it and they didn't really say anything, but the understanding is that the varicosities are a response to their body. It's venous hypertension. It's their body's trying to handle venous hypertension. So it is a signal that something is awry in the body. And then for all the rest of the video, I'll kind of be going over the clinical pearls that I pulled out of. We had several presentations on lipedema throughout the day. So the first one is this understanding as a lymphedema therapist that our patients, our clients with lipedema will often seem defensive. And this defensive is because that they have had substandard relationships with healthcare providers throughout their life, especially if they were only recently diagnosed. And it's completely understandable that they would be defensive. And I personally don't think we can take the idea that, like, but I'm one of the good ones. Like, why are they treating me this way? And we just have to understand their lived experience and the usual things that happen to people with lipedema is it takes them a lot of time to get the proper diagnosis, and they have been incorrectly advised to do many things before they finally got the correct diagnosis. So it's completely understandable that your client with lipedema will feel defensive. Um, we talked about lipedema in vein surgery. So the vein surgeons were talking about how they saw how the client with lipedema that had vein surgery was different from the client who doesn't have a diagnosis of lipedema having the same vein surgery. They said there's more complications. They've just seen more complications in the patients with lipedema after the surgeries, and also the wounds are more difficult to manage. And they will need possibly more frequent follow-up after their surgeries. And then I asked the question about what do they see, and another doctor, we kind of got into a little mini conversation about it, and the other doctor said like they should look into their Caprini score. They should understand their risk for blood clots. They should look into that Caprini score, and they should make sure that they're doing the walking and wearing the compression as directed by their surgeon for after the surgery. So it's kind of short. I kind of tried to summarize everything. There was a lot of other things that were talked about. I liked one of the doctors said, it's great if there's a new machine out there, but if there's not enough experts teaching how to use it properly, that machine isn't as effective as it could be. So it's not just that new technologies need to enter into the market, but we really have to have the education. They have to have the education from their fellow surgeons on how to properly use the machine before you can really see the benefit of it to the community. They also talked about the importance for proper training, the impact of certification fraud in healthcare, and then there was a slide that was showing this story about how there's been fake universities that aren't really proper universities. And that goes into certification fraud, like education fraud, and the need for proper education from a proper source of education to get the best people, experts into that field of venous medicine. Um, so that was pretty much it. So thank you so much for being with me every night as the sun goes down and you see I have less and less light on my face. I enjoy doing these videos after each night of the conferences because it helps me think about the information again. And I hope it helps you as a lymphedema therapist that probably couldn't go to this conference to still get those clinical pearls and have an idea of what people are talking about at these international conferences. I was so fortunate to be part of a roundtable and then be doing a response to lymphedema surgery presentation. I was very happy to be able to serve as faculty on this conference and be able to help with my insights in those topics and kind of get to jump in and be a part of the conversation on, I think, all the days as a member, part of the conversation, and then be able to help at the medical mission that was coordinated with Caritas. And then the lady from Caritas came to tell us more about that gigantic nonprofit worldwide organization. We also saw the health minister of Italy. We saw various important government members, and then in the time that the conference had in the Senate, which I didn't attend, that was even more formal, and looking forward to getting better outcomes for patients around the world. So I am so happy to support all the work of the V1 Foundation kind of from afar, and always wanting to help however I can, and really love seeing what an excellent positive impact this organization is having. So that is my recap, and let me know in the comments if you have any insight of your own. Drop a comment so I can see what you thought of today's presentation. Thank you. Have a good day.